Alright, hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully good. Let's see, my microphone's on, so I'm good. Today I'm going to be continuing work on this cover for issue 7 of Patchwork Girl of Oz. Started it yesterday. You can check out that video in the archives on YouTube and Rumble. It is an homage, like I said yesterday, to my favorite album of all time, Abbey Road by the Beatles, and I thought that the situation for the issue lent itself to doing this. So I've actually I kept going yesterday after I got off the show, and whoa, the text. Sorry, and did a little bit of work on the pencils, just a little bit, not too much. So I'm just going to keep going from there. I'll have the chat on, watching it, if anybody has questions or comments. But I think I'm just going to jump into this. I gotta fix this. Lift up a little bit. There we go. There we go. Small crowd on Instagram today. Wonder why that is. Something going on Instagram I didn't know? Is Instagram down? Drawing the Patchwork Girl is always a little weird because I don't do her. I don't draw in her patches until the character is actually inked. So it's one of the last things I do. Come on, what's going on here? Oh, I was drawing on the wrong layer. That's weird. Wonder how that happened. Weird. But I don't draw the Patchwork Girl's patches until everything is inked and perfect, and then I can draw in the patches sort of and adjust them to everything else that I've drawn for her. The only pattern on her that is consistent is on her face, and even sometimes that gets messed up just because sometimes things don't work out. But hopefully nobody cares about that. I know that I don't really care, and I haven't had anybody call me out on it yet. And I had to make a decision early on how to deal with the patches. Do I make them, do I come up with a pattern and make it consistent throughout the entire series? That seemed like a painful way of doing it. And I looked at what John R. Neal, is it Neal? I have the book here. It's Neal, right? What's wrong with me? How do I know the illustrator? I know W.W. Denslow did the first book. Why am I... John R. Neal. What? I don't know why I blanked on that. Anyway, John R. Neal, he took the approach that basically I decided to take, which is keep a somewhat consistent pattern for the face, and everything else is up for grabs. And that's probably the smart way to go. And he only had a handful of illustrations to do for us, so I don't feel too bad about doing that. And what's funny is, even though he did that, the person who colored the original illustrations did not stick to any pattern. Like, they're drawn in a certain pattern, but if you look at it, the color is just like, I'm just going to color in whatever color I feel like at the time. So he was kind of alone in his approach. All right. I think one of the hardest things for me to do when I'm doing like final pencils is adhering to my own rule, which is trust your roughs, trust your layouts, because they're done with energy, and your drawing hand knows what it's doing most of the time. Your inking hand is your enemy, because it thinks it can do better than the penciler, and usually you lose something if in the energy of the page if you do that. I'm going to turn something off here. There, I can see it better, much better there. So if you start to think, oh, I can improve this, you probably can't. So trust the layouts, and think of your layout artist as the layouts that you did almost being done by a better artist who was responding instinctively while drawing the page, as opposed to the inker, who is often called an embellisher, which is often not the case. Sometimes the inker takes away from what made your layouts energetic. Just a reminder, I'm watching the chat, so if you're in there and want to chat, please do. That's not what I was just saying. There's not to say that changes can't be made, and adjustments can't be made, but a lot of times if you think you're doing better, you might be doing worse. That's why I every single Procreate file that I create, I never delete the roughs, or at the very least, I'll flatten the roughs layers into one just to save it, so I remember what I did and what I was thinking at the time. That way you can go back and remind yourself. So as I was saying yesterday, I'm working on this because I was invited to attend an Oz related event, and they asked me if I had any original artwork, and I don't, because this is created, I do everything digitally, so there is no original artwork. But I said I can probably create something for an upcoming issue to help you out there. So I'm going to print this out to blue line eventually and ink it, and it'll be the first traditionally inked piece for the comic series. We shouldn't go too sharp on these. Because they've been worn down. They're rocks around water, so. You know, I've been thinking that maybe I should scale down the characters slightly. I'll give it a try, see how it looks. A little better. Yeah, I like that a little better. Scraps' hair was getting a little too close to that title. Also, it helps to center her a bit more. This is why I work digitally. I like being able to do that. The idea here is that somebody or something has made a big mess or torn down the yellow or the blue brick road in this case, and put a log over the river. Somebody or something. I wonder who that could be. Guess I'll have to find out reading the comic. Oops. I'm gonna move his head. I'm always adjusting. There we go. Oops. Always adjusting. Probably gonna go through the full process of this page actually, and like ink it digitally, and then ink traditionally over the inks, because I want to get it really, really tight so I know that everything works and I'm not making any mistakes or anything with it, especially since it's going to be going to, you know, somebody else. I should make sure there's a few bricks on the other side. right. I like how this looks. That's better. One of the things that is going on here in this image is they're crossing over from sort of a woody, tree area into more of a jungly area with different types of trees, and that's one of the things I wanted to kind of get across here. It's funny, I did some sketches of these trees which come into play later, and like my sort of I feel like my quick action of my drawing hand did a better job making them look almost kind of snake-like. But that's how they're gonna look. Thank you, Shinview. I appreciate that. I'll finish it first. Gonna make the grass over here a little smaller so it feels a little more distinct from the other side. Just a little smaller. There we go. I want it to feel like they're going from kind of a safe environment to a real spiky, dangerous one. It's gonna be it's gonna be a fun issue to draw. The characters they meet. That's all I'll say. Of course, you know, the book's been out for 12 years now. So it's not really like I'm spoiling anything. Isn't that crazy? 112 years. The first book has been around for, this is its 125th anniversary. The first book came out in 1900. Pretty sure that's true. I think that's true. So it's crazy that something like that can have that much longevity. You know, I mean, a big movie just came out featuring those characters. Nominated for Best Picture even. So it's pretty crazy. Just goes to show you, you know, follow your dreams and create your own stories, because you never know how much you can get out of it and how much people might respond to it. L. Frank Baum, he had many jobs and many passions before he wrote The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Well, before he wrote a book called Mother Goose in Prose, which was his first big hit, and then he did Wonderful Wizard of Oz, a more original thing. But still, you know, he did so much. He failed so much. That's another thing. You gotta fail a lot before you can succeed, at least most people. I'm just glad that he created this world so I can play around in it a little bit. Hey Drew, how you doing? Long time no chat. Hope you're doing well. I saw that I saw a post by you today. I think I was on X that you're working on, is it Thundercats? If so, if it was you, congratulations. I'm pretty sure I saw that. Everybody go follow Drewerd Moss, DREWERDMOSS, on Instagram. I'm not sure what your handle is on X, or I give it out, but Drew is an amazing artist. I met him when I was a younger man, back in like 2007, something like that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Wrapped the first year of Thundercats. That's awesome. Yeah, I met him long ago, and we almost did something together, but didn't work out. That's okay. He's awesome and deserves a follow, and go pick up Thundercats. Well, that's great. Cool. Yeah, it's going to be a cover for issue 6 of the Patchwork Girl of Oz. And it's going to be the first thing I actually put actual ink on, because an Oz related organization invited me to an event and asked if I had any artwork that they could purchase, and I'm like, oh, I don't, but I can make something. So I'll be printing those out to Blue Line and inking it eventually. Thanks. It's an homage to Beatles' Abbey Road, my favorite album of all time. But it seemed... Oh, you know what? Let's see if I can put some... It seemed like a good cover idea, even if nobody gets it, nobody sees it, and I'm the only Beatles fan who is also an Oz fan. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, yeah, I love Sgt. Pepper, but it's in my top 5 for sure. But Abbey Road is just it's them at the height of their powers before they broke up, and I really think it's awesome. Yeah, it's smart to like, in terms of if you want to sell stuff later, but it's so smart to go traditional. I'm so much faster at digital, and I feel more comfortable there. It's the world I live in, and so pretty much, well, not pretty much, everything until now has been done digitally. And even with this, I'm going to be, like I said, the pencils will be digital here, and I'll print it to Blue Line and then ink it up. Just get something here. Let's see, where am I at? I'm going to duplicate that, thicken it up so I can see it a little better. Now I'm gonna, there we go. Now you can see it a little better. So the next step is, oh no, actually the next step is this. Let me just do something real quick. Drew says, I used to do my covers traditionally and pages digital because of the reasons you said. Yeah, it's I mean, if you can do traditional and it's, it works for you as a medium, that's what I would go for. Just so you can sell the pages afterwards. I'm drawing I'm talking to Drew Moss, and I'm starting to draw Moss. Sometimes the universe aligns, or the simulation, whatever you want to think. But I'm drawing some moss on these logs. Draw Moss, Drew Moss. Whoa. I just blew my mind. Drew, you just helped confirm in my mind even more so that we are in a matrix. Oh my god. I needed a laugh. I was having kind of a rough day. I needed that. And now I can't stop thinking about it. Oh, the simulation is winking at me. But I wanted to make sure I drew the log first, so that I had something as a guide. Make sure I get it on the underside here. Yeah. Wait, you get that a lot? Are you part of the simulation, Drew? Are you here to help confirm what I've suspected for a long time now? But I'm sure you get something like that a lot. You know, having the name Drew. I'm sure I said something like that when I first met you, and then let it go because you probably heard it 1,000 times. It's like me getting asked, "Are you related to Peter Frampton?" I got so used to getting that question when I was in the Air Force because my last name was, on my uniform, that I could almost see people forming the sentence in their head as they looked at my BDU blouse and thought, I should ask him this. He's probably never heard it. I'm actually going to turn this so I can... This is another thing I like about working digitally is I didn't realize I did this until my uncle pointed it out on a live stream many years ago. He's like, you sure do turn the paper or the canvas around a lot when you drew. I'm like, really? I didn't even realize I did it. Drew draws and has drawn Drew drawings. That's awesome. How much wood could a woodchuck draw if he was named Druid Moss? I'm going to go in and erase the pencils under. There we go. Another reason I like working digitally first. Oh, take care, Drew. Yeah, deadlines. That's what I'm working on right now. Bye-bye. I was saying another reason I like working digitally is because I'm not the best artist, and it takes a lot of work iteratively. I can speak. So if I could just draw like a lot of artists where they just kind of cruise because they've got the experience and muscle memory, I'd be a lot happier, but I am not that artist. Not yet. just want to give a little bit of texture, a little bit of mossy texture. Sometimes I really feel like Bob Ross when I'm drawing, because I'm sort of low key and I tend to just sort of talk about what I'm doing. Somebody recently came on my live stream and said, man, this is the most zen thing I've ever seen. Because I am not, like, you know, performative. You're not gonna get a performance out of me, and I'm not gonna work on editing a video to get views just because I've got work to do, you know. I don't really think there are many comic artists out there who actually, you know, make comics a lot and consistently, who have super successful YouTube channels, because they're two different things. There's a few. Daniel Warren Johnson certainly has a great YouTube channel, but he only does like a couple of videos a day. I think he does like one live stream on Fridays. I think it's called Friday with D-Dubs. Yeah. So I think even, you know, it's just when you got a schedule to maintain, it can be killer. You just gotta keep moving forward. And managing a YouTube channel tends to get in the way of that. I only do it 1 hour a day, and it's usually work, not just like, this is how I draw this. I don't think anybody wants to see this is how I draw this channel from me. Should probably find somebody who knows how to draw to do that. All right. So I'm going to do one more thing before I sign off for the day, which is I already did a sort of a lighting pass, as I call it. Should I duplicate that one more time? No, that's fine. I'll leave it that way. I'm going to do another one. Now that I've... Oops. That's the wrong layer. Now that this is basically the pencils now. I mean, if I was going to move on from here, I would just ink over this. But again, I'm going to be printing this out to blue line. I want to get a sense of this piece with all the shading sort of in there. Just a quick shading pass on it. Kind of be lit from behind here. This will help me see a little bit of the form of the characters. I don't do a lot of spotting of blacks, so this is the first time that I get to see. When I shade them, it's the first time I get to see, you know, a little bit of their form. This cat doesn't get shading because she's glass, so there's that. Now we're starting to see forms and shapes, all that good stuff that we want. Also, when I print this out, I'm probably going to print it out with the logo on here. I'll desaturate it all the way down to black and white, but that way the person getting it will have the full effect. Final colors will probably have like more of a hint of a background going off in the distance here, but for the sake of the actual line art, it's going to just be this. You can kind of see it fading off here, but I'll do all that in the coloring. I grab the brush I use a lot. Where is it? Well, not a lot. That's my fancy brush. Oh, there it is. Another reason I'm doing this quick lighting pass here is I want to show the person who's going to get this, the finished piece, you know, step by step, the process that I've been, so she can see how it's coming along. I haven't decided if I want to do this in the colors or not. The water falling around the rocks here, kind of like this. And then, hold on one second. Okay. me do one more thing here before I sign off. Let's see if I can. Come on. What's going on here? Just want to give a hint of more back there. This is basically me sort of pre-planning the colors a little bit just to give a sense of what I'm going for. Okay. I think I need to shift. Whoa, not that much. That's better. Shift the title just a little bit. Okay. Let's darken this so you can see it a little better. Something like that. Bit of a vignette there. Actually, put this over there. There we go. Now we're starting to see it come together. Probably gonna expand the trees a little bit here to have it match better with these. But otherwise, starting to come together. All right. Look at that. 1 hour exactly. All right, that's all for today. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central to continue work on this. I'll probably start doing the digital inks that I'll eventually print out and then ink over traditionally. So I'll do that tomorrow. But I'm not out the pencils for this. That's nice. I can cross one process off my list. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, follow all that good stuff on Instagram, X, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble, the 5 places that I stream to, and I'll see you tomorrow.